Okay, hi. Yeah, this is a 2 and R on capitalism. I went for Cap mainly because Nick Watts was judging, and he is good on capitalism and critiques in general. But the AF was immigration AF that did Medicaid for immigrants, and advantages were international human rights and bioterror, and they read a racism add-on in the 2AC, which is kind of relevant to the round. Um, the block was 2NC was case everywhere, and um, capitalism. I kicked the counterplan, which was states, and then the 1 and R was politics, which I ended up not going for. The permutation, in case I don't explicitly say what it is in the speech, is the permutation to reject all, is to do the plan reject all of capitalism. The alternative just rejects the plan. So, yeah, it goes politics cap, because I have to kick politics. But, yep. Ready? Politics not going for our Democrats of 60 votes now in healthcare, which means the inevitable pass. Go to capitalism overview. The app is a haphazard attempt to sustain capitalism despite the inevitability of its collapse. They can see three links. First, their evidence talks about the importance of legal immigrants to the economy and how, by incentivizing them to come to America, is only employed to use them to make profit-making machines to increase state profits. Second, extend our 1 and C link evidence. People talks about how corporate profit motives hover above cultural system, widens the rich-poor gap, leads non-comprehensive and poor quality of care driven towards profits-cutting solvency, and their bioterror advantage is based off convincing immigrants to get health care. That's the Rigori evidence plan is just direct construction to create more profits. The impact is it removes the essence of humanity from those subjected to exploitation. Capitalist system, the only values seen in poor classes out of labor the way can participate in propping up the capitalist system. Only in a world where reject capitalism will the poor class be able to once again merge into society, not simply for the benefit that they can have on the economic system, but for the intrinsic value they have as people. Only alternative can solve the capitalist mindset that necessitates the atrocities in the world and extend Turner's case the real reasons swine flu and tuberculosis exist are able to spell sickening infestation of capitalist apparatus in the minds of people who do the right thing but instead succumb to selective allure. The capitalist drive means that their impacts are inevitable in the world of capitalism because the only reason terrorists attack us because of the rich poor gap, because they aren't given a chance to actually rise up in capitalism, because capitalism just perpetuates rich poor gas, makes the poor and the rich richer. Only when we completely and totally reject capitalism can we truly solve the root cause of their harms. Finally, the alternative is try or die. Unless we abandon our belief in capital, we are subject to its horrors. Our evidence is fantastic on how the only way to truly remove capitalism is to independently reject capitalism. Only then can we hollow capitalism from the inside. The strength of capitalism is just too big to overcome if we try to take it down all at once, like a permutation that kills. Permutation solving this question of individual ethics, positioning ourselves as rejecting capitalism individually with stem capitalist drive and ultimately lead to its demise. The question of this debate is one of morality. They can see that what they do is morally and ethically wrong. They simply use the plan as a means to exploit immigrants, feed the capitalist system instead of treating immigrants solely for the purpose of helping them. They are simply motivated to treat the working class in order to prop a capitalist system. The alternative is blatant rejection from capitalism, whereas the app is not. It means there's only a risk. The alternative is better than doing the plan and the status quo, and they can see the value of life impact. The impact is it removes the essence of humanity from those subjected to exploitation. Capitalism, the only value seen as immigrants is that of cheap labor. They devalue to the point where I lose any intrinsic value usually present in each individual. In the world will reject capitalism. Will immigrants once be able to merge in society, not simply for the benefit they can have on the economy. Only alternative can solve capitalist mindset necessitates the atrocity in the world. Gut solvency because people be afraid that to get care because they don't want to get some back to the poor side. The rich poor gap only exists in the world of capitalism means decay is a prerequisite to have solvency, and you weigh the critique impacts before the app impacts because allowing genocide justifies extinction. It's nothing worse than when everybody's dead. It doesn't matter if they're alive or dead because there's no value to life when they're living, and they can see the methodology comes first. Fundamentals of the case are wrong, calls in question everything else they're reading functionally. It's a rigged game. The fact that they can't justify their affirmative ethically, morally means you vote negative, go to line by line. He says we don't solve the root cause, but for my analysis, one of the arguments literally no warrants. We can't solve bioterror attack in time. We'll win serious defense on it. He concedes that we politicize racism because capitalism is the root cause of racism. He starts. It started with slavery. Now Hispanic come across border, made money making proceeds for Medicaid and healthcare distribution. Companies like way racism before any other impact. That's their impact evidence. No need to error answers. My 2 hours based off the 1 AR drop. The argument go to permutation. You can see 2 arguments here. First, framework incompatible. The app can't reject capitalism while still allowing us to enact policy. It suffers our ideology. Perm text doesn't make up for this. The plan is on capitalist mindset. The perm is not either gut solvency because we can't work in the in the system where they sever, and that's a voter means moving hard, and they can't prepare, and the perms intrinsic it adds the plank of taking down all capitalism. We cross all the reasons why severance is bad here. It doesn't solve better. We can't tackle capitalism all at once. That's the overview. And the permutation has no net benefits other than capitalism bad, which is the critique. Any solvency deficit on the permutation means you vote negative, and they still link the racism arguments to still give healthcare to immigrants. That's above. Extend the Johnson evidence on the permutation. He says the permutation fails when the ethical gesture alone can solve capitalism. The plan is still unethical. That's the link debate above. He says capitalism is inevitable. This falls directly underneath the capitalist system, saying that capitalism is inevitable is a form of reification of capitalism. Makes it look natural and inevitable solely as a means to brainwash those and believing that it's truly an integral part of life and revolts against this, and the app cannot begin to recognize the other possibilities, and they recognize that there are others out there and fully reject capitalist mindset, and the alternative shifts the mindset that can inspire individuals to act once and they rejects the planet. It opens up other space. It opens up space for other humans to try or die, and he says the alternative does not spill over. That's just the capitalist mindset. Only by allowing Nick to start with a rejection, people get the hope and risk the impossible to overcome capitalism. You go to the space call turn. First of all, space colonization bad to capitalist system, feeds into capitalist system because it allows us to pose planets as commodities, and we can still do capitalism after the alternative. There's no reason why capitalism is key to space colonization in the 1AR. Yeah.